February 3rd, 2018, kids in and around Canton met at the summit to take part in something new and exciting.
We had our first of many swim meets in the Aquatic Center for our Summit Swim School program.
The idea behind the meet was to give the kids the experience of knowing what it's like to participate on a competitive swim team from beginning to end.
It's basically swim in a competitive environment.
It started with the kids' arrival at the pool to check in at registration, where they picked up their pre-assigned blue or white team cap.
From there, they prepared for their meets. They entered the pool as their parents sat anxiously and gave last-minute encouragement. They then loosened up with some stretching exercises, joined their respective teams, and took a few warm-up laps in the pool. While it was an open event, there was one important requirement. That being, the children had to be a level 4 youth swimmer or higher. Anything lower, and the child could not compete.
We do that because we want the kids that are not necessarily in our competitive prep swim team, we don't want them to not feel like they're not can be invited. So we invite the youth level 4s who can do freestyle and backstroke and some of the breaststroke and some of the butterfly, to where they can come to the swim meet and kind of get an intro to the actual program. So then that way, as they progress through our program, when they get into level 5, which is our competitive prep swim team, then that way they already know what swim meets are all about, and then that way they get a little bit more excited when they move up to that next level.
Participants were allowed to swim in 2 individual events and 1 relay race. Organizer Brad Chason alerted the competitors and started the meets.
All right, on your mark, get set.
Event after event, the young swimmers gave their best.
Whether it was the butterfly, the backstroke, the breaststroke, the freestyle, or the relay, the kids left it all in the pool. And while the parents cheered and rooted for their young swimmers, none was more supportive and vocal than Chason himself.
I think it kind of goes back to my roots. I was a swimmer. I swam in recreational swim teams, and I was always a big team advocate of cheering on your team member when you're not swimming. And I encourage the parents in our parents meeting before we have the swim meet, get up there and cheer on kids that aren't even yours. You'll see when you cheer for them, they try that little bit more harder to kick their feet or to pull their arms or to go that much faster because you're sitting there cheering them on and cheering everybody until everybody is finished for that specific event. That's the most important part, because whether you're first, second, or last, everybody matters.
At the end of the meets, the young competitors and families gathered for a well-deserved meal at the awards banquet. While some earned several awards and others none, the organizers had solid reasons for this.
We don't necessarily go with the participation award because that's not what the environment they're going to go into when they get into the competitive level. They get first, second, and third place, and that's basically it and how it goes. So we necessarily want to mimic what they're going to be going into, so then that way they're being prepared mentally. Okay, I got to get first, second, or third in order to actually get an award. So then that way it doesn't take away from the aspect when they go on to that next level. It's just blending right back into that.
Regardless of how many awards were won or not, everyone won that night. Healthy competition leads to healthy bodies and healthy minds. And isn't that really the goal? And besides, it was just plain fun.
The next swim meet will be held on Saturday, April 28th at 5:30 p.m. here at the Summit.